welcome to our newest episode of Cinda Sales Coaching. So today we are continuing on with part 2 of the basics of how to show a home. So if you're just tuning in for the first time and you haven't seen part 1, you probably ought to go back and review that so that you can get prepared to know how to start the process. And then it's going to help yourself and it's going to help your client as well to be ready for part 2. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, you should have your showings set up. So what does that mean? You've gotten the information from the buyer. They have the homes that they want to look at, and now you're going to compile a list. You need to set those up with your local showing times, the company that you use, and they're going to confirm the time that you're going to show with the seller, and the instructions on how you're going to enter that property, whether it be with an iBox or a combo box. And then if you're showing multiple properties, then it's a good idea to schedule them so that you're staying in line with the times. And so here's how I do that usually. You can put about 20 minutes, if you're showing in one neighborhood, you can put about 20 minutes in between each showing. That gives you enough time to be able to go into the property and view the property. But if you're showing farther apart, so if you're showing across town or you're showing acreages, look on your Google Maps for times and distances, or MLS has a mapping feature that you can use to get those scheduled so you know not to have lag times. You don't want to have half hours and hours in between showings. It wastes time and it's uncomfortable. Make sure you update your key, your e-key, so that you're totally ready to start opening up iBoxes as you go. So number 2, your touring packet is ready. So remember, that was the packet that you made with all the MLS sheets that you're going to show with the pertinent disclosures. And I like to write the time of the showing on the top of each sheet so that as we're driving along, especially if you're driving separate, then the buyer can know what time we're showing each property and in what order. Okay, number 3, don't use the driveway to park in. Now, there's a lot of reasons why you don't use it, but the most important reason is if you've got a car that's leaking oil and you park in the driveway, you're probably going to get a nasty call from that seller saying that there's oil drips, and you're not going to be happy about that. Number 4, as you go walking up toward the home, as you approach the home, take notice on your own of the condition of the home. So look for things, but at this point, don't say anything to the buyer. Just observe. You might make a note or two, and then we're going to talk more about that later on in the video. Number 5, after opening the door, make sure that you yell "Realtor" in the door as a warning sign to anyone that might be home. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to charge in on someone that's sitting there naked on the couch watching TV. Not a happy situation. Next up, let them walk in before you do so. Stand back so the buyer can walk in and allow them to get that first impression of the property. And then I always like to leave the key in the door of where we enter. So if it's the back door, front door, whatever, I leave that key in there, and then that way I don't have to be fiddling with the key or worrying about the key. I know where it is. Well, I always know where it is unless we have little kids that are coming, and I've had kids grab the key out of the door, so you want to make sure that you plan accordingly for that. But you know what? While I'm on that subject, as far as kids go, make sure that you keep the kids corralled, because if they're running around like wild Indians and they're Crayoling on the wall, which I had that happen one time, again, you might be getting a nasty phone call. And you know, you can be friendly and sweet with the kids and encourage them to be respectful if mom and dad aren't doing that. Okay, now you're going to allow the buyer to go through the home on their own. I want you to turn on the lights as they enter the rooms and let them get a feel of what's going on in the feel of the house. But keep your opinions to yourself at this point, because of course you can answer their questions, you can answer any questions that they might have for the seller, and then make sure that you leave your business card so that the seller knows that you've been there. Number 6, stay on your scheduled time. So that just simply means if you're in a short window to show the inside of the house first, then you can pop outside and stand in the yard, or you can stand on the sidewalk or whatever to discuss other things about the home that you might want to know. And then that way, if another showing happens, they can go in and the seller might want to come home. Number 7, absolutely leave that home the same as the way you found it. Turn off the lights, secure the doors, make sure they're locked. If you mess with the blinds, you open them, shut them, put them back. Just put the house back as you found it. Now, if you're writing together, you can discuss the homes as you go from one home to the next. But if you're not, then call them later on that afternoon or that evening to kind of talk about what they thought about the homes. And if they love one and want to make an offer and they want your opinion, this is the time to talk to them about the things that you noticed. You want to remark on anything that would impede the sale of the home. So if it's an FHA or a VA buyer, an appraiser is going to call out peeling paint, rickety railings, broken windows, those types of things. And those could cause your sale not to happen. But the reason I'm telling you this is because some agents absolutely pick a house apart to the point of exhaustion, and it makes the buyers feel uncomfortable and uneasy and nervous. And most repairs can be negotiated and monetary concessions can be made, right? This is what I was talking about earlier about keeping your opinions and your criticisms to yourself, because some buyers may not care about the things that you care about. They may not care if the house is ultra clean or if there's little things that need to be fixed, painting or corrections of some flaws, and the buyer may be a handyman, or it's just not a big deal to them. They may be going to rip everything out and start over again and completely remodel the house. So that's why it's really important that you know your buyer and you know them once you've done that buyer consultation. That's why I push that thing so hard, because you know everything about your buyer and what their wants and needs are before you even step into the door. Now, of course, if there's glaring problems, like there's big holes in the foundation where it's cracked and you can see to the outside, that's a problem. Standing water in the basement, that's a problem. And those may be incidences that of course you're going to want to point out, and you might want to move on, pass on that house. Now, I want to share a secret with you that every great realtor knows, and it's this. When you are completely prepared to perform the tasks of a realtor in any situation, you look like you know what you're doing. That instills faith, confidence, and trust in your client, because they think that you have taken the time to prepare for them so that you're going to fulfill their wants and needs. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. There are so many videos there to help you gain basic knowledge, to provide you with ideas and tips, no matter how long you've been in the business, and there's literally something for every agent. And also join me at CindaSalesCoaching.com for freebies and hacks that really work to help you grow your business. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and have a prosperous day.